Today's longevity meal is all about hydration. We're making chicken shawarma on the grill with a beautiful orange honey sauce, and with it, grilled asparagus, burrata, and breadcrumbs.
To start, we're going to make our marinade for our chicken shawarma. Cumin, smoked paprika, and ancho chili are the big players here. Cumin, by the way, is a great resource for digestion and blood sugar control, two key things as we age. Pro tip: combine all of your spices and seasonings into a bowl, mix well, and then season your food. This gives you much more even distribution of flavor. So if you usually layer seasonings right on top like in those quick sheet pan meals, try this instead. It's an easy upgrade that makes a real difference. Now we're adding about a cup of Greek yogurt to a bowl, plus 2 to 3 tablespoons of our spice blend, and mixing it well. This is going to become the marinade for the boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And Greek yogurt brings protein, probiotics, and enzymes that tenderize, helping your gut and preserving your muscle at the same time. Now we're going to add an obnoxious amount of chicken thighs and mix everything by hand. After marinating for 4 hours or up to overnight, it's time to hit the grill, baby. Now the first few times I made this, I folded the chicken onto the skewers, which looked great, but the texture inside got kind of gummy from the thick marinade. Grilling the thighs flat like this just gives you better flavor, better texture, and a more satisfying result overall. Next up, the surprising star of the show, asparagus. Now you might not know this, but asparagus is over 90% water and it's a natural diuretic. That makes it a great vegetable for hydration, circulation, and even detox support, especially in the warmer months. What you probably did know is that it will make your pee smell like hamsters, but it's worth it. And a teeny tiny additional pro tip here is peel the asparagus like you would a carrot. The outer skin on thicker stalks can be fibrous and woody. It does take a few minutes, but trust me, it turns into something buttery and elegant. And after 1 or 2 peels, you'll be in a rhythm and people will shout from the rooftops, "Yes, chef." Once peeled, season with olive oil and salt, mix well, and head to the grill. When I cook for friends, I usually throw the asparagus on the grill during the last 1 to 2 minutes of the chicken cooking. That way everything finishes hot and fresh and there's no waiting. Grill the green stalks over medium to medium-high heat and flip often. For the orange and hot honey sauce, start with sauteing 1 tablespoon of sliced shallot and 1 teaspoon of sliced garlic and olive oil with a pinch of salt. After a few minutes, add some chili flake and a bay leaf, and then pour in about 6 ounces of orange juice and about a tablespoon of honey. Stir well and let that reduce by half. Citrus, like oranges, is packed with vitamin C, which is great for immune support and skin health. Then swirl in about 1 ounce of cold butter off of the heat to emulsify the sauce. Strain it, let it cool, and you've got yourself a bright, spicy, sweet glaze. One of the easiest garnishes you can make at home, fresh breadcrumbs. I'm using day-old brioche. Buzz it in the grinder, sift out the floury bits, and toast the rest low and slow with olive oil and salt. You end up with these crispy, golden bits that add texture and just feel kind of giggity, if you know what I mean. Now, time to plate this hydrating, flavor-packed meal. After the chicken is rested, I slice it thin, shawarma style, but I'm not stressing over perfect cuts. Chicken thighs are super forgiving on the grill, perfect for feeding a crowd without the worry. I'm drizzling our orange hot honey sauce right over the top. Sweet, spicy, citrusy. The triple S, as I call it, if you spell citrusy with an S. For the asparagus, I'm planting a beautiful ball of burrata right in the center. Have fun with the plating, this is meant to be shared. Top the burrata with honey, chili flake, salt, and a little balsamic reduction for an extra Hoosier Daddy. I love how easily this meal comes together and how it supports hydration, gut health, and muscle recovery, all while still being incredibly fun to eat.
Thanks for checking out the video today. If you're serious about eating for longevity, consider my 10 recipe cookbook, Let the Food Do the Work, available in the description. And if you don't know where to start in the kitchen, grab my free Kitchen Day 1 guide to get your pantry in fighting shape, also available in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on Bricks and Mortar Food. Today is all about soothing inflammation with food. Today we're making a dynamite anti-inflammatory meal. We're starting off with grilled pork and pineapple skewers. We're pairing with that a beautiful quinoa and date salad with some avocado mixed in. And to top it all off, we're going with a pistachio chimichurri sauce. This is can't miss when it comes to soothing your inflammation with food. Pork is one of my favorite and often underutilized proteins to throw on the grill or put in the oven. So today I'm taking some beautiful thick cut boneless chops and I'm gonna break them down, I know, don't cry, into bite-sized pieces for skewers. And I'm going to mix with them some olive oil to season it, some salt, and then 2 surprises, Chinese 5-spice and cumin. I think those 2 work wonderfully together, and I'm just doing a little bit. A little goes a long way here. So just enough where it becomes fragrant and you can tell that there's some seasoning coating the protein. For the pineapple, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to break it down, a little olive oil, a little salt, and throw it on the skewers and hit the grill.
Pineapple can help reduce inflammation because of its enzyme bromelain, which can help prevent white blood cells from gathering at the source of inflammation. Once it's time for the grill, we're going to skewer them up, and for the pork, I try to leave a little separation between each piece of meat to allow for even heat distribution and even cooking. I'm going to cook these over medium-high heat, and I'm looking for an internal temperature of around 145 to 150 degrees. For pork, you can cook it medium. However, some people get a little squeamish if they see pink when they cut open their pork chop. For the pineapple, I'm going to cook them until soft and charred.
Quinoa is one of my favorite things to make. I've been making it for almost 20 years, and I know grains sometimes get a bad rap with inflammation. I really like quinoa here because it's the only grain that is a complete source of protein, meaning having all of the essential and non-essential amino acids. To help amp it up even further, I'm cooking it in chicken bone broth. I'm using a ratio of 1 cup quinoa to 1 3/4 cup chicken bone broth. I'm adding dates and avocado to the quinoa, and with the natural nuttiness from the quinoa, the 3 just work in perfect harmony. I'll adjust the seasoning and add some lemon juice as needed. Now, really for my favorite part of this whole recipe is the pistachio chimichurri. There's a million versions of chimichurri, and I found that I like mine on the chunky side with pistachios and a little bit of honey to sweeten it. I think it is just dynamite and can go with anything. You can throw this on the protein and the fruit like we're doing today. You can mix it with the quinoa salad. You can put it on eggs. It's a really versatile sauce, and it's got tons of fresh herbs, which is awesome for anti-aging, for anti-inflammation, for just general health.
Because I'm using roasted and salted pistachios, I'm actually going to wait to add the salt to the chimichurri until I blend it and then give it a taste. This way I'll know how much salt I need to add as opposed to adding it on the front end. If you'd like the sauce to be a little thinner, you can add some more citrus juice. Just keep in mind that with the pistachios being high in fat, this is going to run a little on the THICC thick side.
Now it looks like we have a lot going on, and we do, but this whole dinner can come together in about 40 minutes, so it can be easily done during the weeknight, or you can double the recipe and serve a crowd on the weekend.
To complete this anti-inflammatory jackpot of a meal, I'm going to start by adding the quinoa salad to serve family style. For the pork and pineapple, I'm simply going to take them off the skewers. 4 ounces of pork will roughly run you 200 calories and about 25 grams of protein. That, coupled with the quinoa, will give you a solid meal from a macro perspective. Both can be higher in calories, however, so proceed with some caution.
All right, thank you so much for watching this week, which was all about anti-inflammation, soothing our inflammation with food. If you like what you saw here, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you're serious about eating for longevity, then you need to check out my 10 recipe cookbook, Let the Food Do the Work. Each recipe is based on a certain aspect of our life to help us improve that through food, such as better eyesight, better sleep, more energy, lower cholesterol, and more. And if you don't know where to start in the kitchen, then you need to grab my Kitchen Day 1 guide. It's free, and it's also in the description note. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week on Bricks and Mortar Food.
If you're struggling to get a good night's sleep, this turkey burger is for you. Today, we're going to be making a beautiful grilled turkey burger, but not the way you might think. I'm actually taking everything you love about a meatball and turning it into a burger. First up are the portobello mushrooms. I love putting these on the grill. They're so beefy. But before we grill them, we need to remove the stem and the gills. Use a spoon. It takes a minute, but makes all the difference in the world texture-wise. Then we're going to marinate them by tossing them in a Ziploc bag with some garlic and some shallots, some fresh thyme, and a shit ton of balsamic vinegar. Marinate them for as long as you can, but a couple hours will do the trick. Next up, it's time for our kiwi salsa. To peel these little fuckers, cut the ends off of each side and run your knife from top to bottom, getting rid of the furry skin. It takes a little bit of knife work, but don't freak out, it's fine. Then cut them in half and then cut the half in half and get rid of that little white core. Now you can eat that white core, but it's more fibrous than I'd prefer. Once you remove the core, then slice them and chop them. Remember, this is the base of your salsa, so the pieces need to be small enough to fit on a burger and in your pie hole. To the salsa, I'm going to add some garlic and shallot and the good parts of an orange. I'm going to peel this the same way I did with the kiwis by cutting the ends off and peeling it from top to bottom. I'm going to remove the tasty bits but leave the membrane, as that is not as appetizing. And I'm going to add in some fresh parsley and cilantro. Both of these will really brighten up the salsa. Then I'm going to add the zest and juice of an orange and a lime. A good pinch or two of salt and a good squeeze of honey, and then a mixy mix. Pro tip, this salsa is ridiculous with salty tortilla chips and fresh margaritas. Not that I know, but I know. Now we're going to make the meatball burger. To make the burger, I'm using 93.7 ground turkey breast. And as one of the binders, I'm using ground steel cut oats, which is a slow digesting carbohydrate that will help with the concept of sleep that we are working towards with this meal. I'll also add in 1 egg lightly beaten, and I'm going to grate in some shallot and garlic, and don't you dare forget the Parmesan cheese. To top it all off, I'll throw in some fresh thyme and parsley and a good pinch of salt. Then it's time to go in with the old meat hooks and mix away, but be careful not to overmix. Then shape them into something that resembles a burger patty, and on the grill we go. Just kidding, spoke too soon. Before we go on the grill, I need to remove the mushrooms from the marinade, pat them dry, and then season them well on both sides with olive oil and salt. And then it's off to the grill. And much like Lebowski's rug, these brioche buns are going to tie the whole thing together. Beautiful char on the mushrooms and on the turkey burgers in around 10 to 12 minutes on the grill. Now to plate this, I'm going to add some balsamic glaze to the mushrooms, and then I'm going to put some Dijon on the bottom of the bun. The turkey burgers are delicious, and the zingy zangy salsa and portobello mushrooms go perfectly with it.
And here it is, the grilled turkey meatball burger with a beautiful kiwi salsa and grilled portobello mushrooms. This entire recipe is all about getting a better sleep, helping you relax and unwind and have a restorative night's rest. If you like this recipe, subscribe to the channel. And if you're serious about eating for longevity, consider my 10 recipe cookbook available in the description called Let the Food Do the Work. And if you don't know where to start in the kitchen, then grab my free Kitchen Day 1 guide, also available in the notes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.